On the phone, we have a gentleman I remember playing back with the Pittsburgh Pirates in the late 70s, early 80s, and the Dodgers and Tigers, but he also played for the Rangers and my beloved Chicago Cubs. Former third baseman Bill Madlock. How you doing today, Mr. Madlock?
Very good, very good.
I see you came up in the Rangers system. Did you know the Rangers were going to draft you back then, or was it basically a signing thing?
Well, it really wasn't the Rangers at the time. It was the Washington Senators. And when I was 1 year, I think 1 or 2 years in the minor leagues, they transferred the franchise from, Washington to the Texas Rangers, where I think Billy Martin was the manager there when I came over to Texas. And then when I was in spring training, Ted Williams was the manager of the Washington Senators.
Did that kind of scare you at all, thinking, listen, one of the greatest hitters in baseball history is going to be my first manager?
Well, I really didn't follow baseball that much, back then because, being from the state of Illinois, either, down where I live, either you're a Cub fan or a Cardinal fan. And the first game I ever went to was a Cardinal game, and Pete Rose was always my favorite.
What was Ted Williams like as a manager?
Well, like I said, I was just in spring training. Obviously it's very hard. You should ask Jeff Burroughs about them. They didn't get along. And, being a guy, like you said, the greatest hitter, one of the greatest hitters of all time, he had his own way of hitting, and obviously only he could hit that way, and I think he wanted everybody else to hit that way. And, it's impossible to have that type of eye and that type of program umpire. Whenever he took a pitch, it was a ball.
Did you follow Stan Musial at all, being a Cardinal fan?
I followed the Cardinals, Stan Musial, Lou Brock, Kurt Flood, what happened to him, and, in '69 I graduated from high school, and I was planning on going to the World Series up in Chicago, and we both know that never happened.
No, that Chicago Cub fans till this day still say that season just went too long, that DeRocher ran that team in the ground.
I don't know about that, but one thing I do know, when you're playing a lot of day games, you need a good bench. You got to give the players a rest because it's tough playing out there in that sun, day in and day out without any, fluctuating weather like you get when you play night games.
Was there a lot of pressure on you when you got traded to the Cubs for Fergie Jenkins?
Well, it wasn't a lot of pressure, because obviously, at the time they hadn't won, but it was a lot of fan pressure because one thing, as you know, the Cub fans are family oriented because like when they don't win, they think you're part of you because of the, Fergie, Billy, Ernie, Santo, they had been there forever. And people forget that at the time, WGN wasn't one of the few stations that you can get baseball game every day, that in TBS, so the fans, regardless of where they went in the country, they got a chance to be a Cub fan. I think that's one of the big reasons that Cubs are so beloved all over the United States, sometimes all over the world, because regardless of where you went, you can see your Cubs playing.
A lot of times people say that the Cubs went 30 years without a third baseman from the time Ron Santo retired till Aramis Ramirez, but they forget about Bill Madlock there. I mean, you won a couple batting titles there, and you were an all-star.
Well, I think too, because I wasn't, there a long period of time. I was only there 3 years, and the Cubs are the Cubs, so they gonna love you, because you can go to bleacher bums and all that. So Cub fans always need something to talk about because they haven't won yet, and I think Theo, have put him on the right track. I think eventually, I don't think it'll be this year, but I think he's going in the right direction of, building the Cubs within instead of going out, trying to piece together, veterans. I think he's going to get his young players together, then bring in a few veterans.
What made you so great is you were just a hitter. I mean, you didn't hit for a ton of power, but you hit for a high average. Was there a lot of pressure on you to hit more home runs because back at that time, everybody thought his third base is the power position?
Not really, because you got to look at it. The only guy who really hit for a lot of home runs was Mike Smith, and he was in a class by itself. So, it was different type of hitters now, just like the guys nowadays, they can hit 350 and hit 40 home runs and drive in 100 some runs. It wasn't like that when I played. Either you hit for average or you hit for you hit for power, and that has changed over the years because these kids are so big and strong now. So they hit a lot of home runs. Look at the guy from Detroit. He's unbelievable. Like I say, he's the best I've ever seen. Guerrero.
I mean, you're right. Him and Pujols there. I mean, back in the 2000s, those guys just hit for average, power, RBIs. They were Triple Crown potential winners every year.
Right. You never had that type of hitters. Even I think Yastrzemski, I think he was a low 300s and low home run total and really a low RBI total. I think just over 100. So it's tough to compare hitters now with the hitters nowadays. I think the hitters now is so much better, bigger, and stronger. And I think it's tough to hit now because these guys, they got 5, 6 guys on every team that throw 95 plus. And back then when I played, I think we had probably 5 in the whole league could throw that type of speed.
What pitcher gave you the hardest problems?
Oh, lefty. Yeah, he was just unbelievable. That's Steve Carlton. I mean, he was probably the greatest left-hander that ever pitched, and he was really unbelievable stuff. His slider down and in. So I couldn't even touch him. It wasn't. No secret about that.
So there's no advantage being a right-handed hitter against him?
No, there's no advantage being anything against Carlton. The good pitchers, there's no advantage anyway. They're gonna get you no matter what.
You mentioned that your favorite player growing up was Pete Rose. How thrilling was it to go against Pete Rose every year for that batting title?
Well, it was great, because, what's the fun thing about it, because, like, say, going in and being in the All-Star game with these guys, that was just unbelievable. Brock, Bench, Perez, Seibert, Carlton, that was just unbelievable, and I think it was great, going against my boyhood idol, for the batting title almost, every year I played. It was fun. Had a lot of fun doing that, and playing against a big red machine because I think they had about 6 or 7, Hall of Famers on that team.
Did you enjoy playing for the Cubs back in the mid-'70s? Because it was a different atmosphere back then than it is now.
Well, it was a more fun because you didn't win. Now, the bleachers bums when I played, the seats was 50 cents or $1. Now they're corporate seats. So, it was a fun at the ballpark. Now, the fans, they expect you to win because of what they pay for the ticket. So it's a lot different. It was fun, because like I said, we didn't win, so we had to have something.
I think it's rare that when a player gets traded, coming off 2 batting titles, that they get moved to a different position, but you went to second base with the Giants. How hard was that?
I only just for a short period of time, so it didn't last that long because it was because Darrell Evans could play, but it didn't last that long. Ain't worried about it.
And then you went to the Pirates, and I remember that Pirates team. That was the first year I started really watching baseball full-time, and that We Are Family was so fun to watch.
Well, we had a lot of fun. It was 25 different individuals, but we really cheered for each other and really believed in each other with the team as a team because, the leader on that was Stargell. We had Dave Parker, who should be in the Hall of Fame. Had DeCovey, we had Gardner, had, Foley. It was just an unbelievable family-oriented team. We cared for each other.
And Bert Blyleven was one of the star pitchers, too.
Yeah, Dirty Bird. He was there. He was long overdue that he got in the Hall of Fame. He should have been in the Hall of Fame long before he did.
What was that World Series like against the Orioles?
Well, it was great, because with me, I started in San Francisco. I went from the last place team to a first place team, and then coming back from a 3-1 deficit, that was great, and And the only thing I wish we could have won in Pittsburgh, but we did win it in Baltimore, so that's the main thing.
What was the key to your success coming back from that 3-1 deficit?
Well, I just think is never giving up, and I think that goes about the leaders we had on the team. That Stargell, he wouldn't let you give up. He wouldn't let you think that you were defeated. He always said never get too high or too low. Everything take care of yourself. Because we thought we had a better team than they did. We just didn't play like that the first 4 games.
When you look at Willie Stargell, he didn't look at that time like he could still play baseball. He kind of looked like the grizzled old guy in the team, but he could still play.
Well, like say, Chuck Tanner, he did a tremendous job playing Willie. I think Willie played only 104 games or something like that. He was the MVP in the league, MVP in the World Series, so he did a tremendous job of keeping him fresh throughout the season.
Did you want that World Series MVP? Because you had 375 in that series.
Oh no! Everybody knows who's gonna get it, and like I say, you wasn't worried about who got it. You just worried about winning. That's the whole thing. And Starger was well deserved. He hit big 3-run homer and he carried us throughout the series.
You won 4 batting titles. You could have possibly won a 5th. Was there one season you enjoyed more than any other?
Well, I think that. I forgot which year it is. The year I went 4 for 4 on the last day to win it because Ken Griffey Sr., he set out the last game, and I went 4 for 4 to overtake him the last day.
Yeah, there was the 76 season, or no, 76 season when he sat out.
Yeah.
Did you kind of feel like, I want to do this because this isn't fair, this guy's sitting out so you could try to win the batting title?
I don't look at it that way. I just wanted to, get hits. I didn't say, I can't judge somebody on the reason they did it because they have a reason. I'm not saying I wouldn't if I was head either. I don't know, but I'm just glad he did.
And then you played for Tommy Lasorda with the Dodgers. What was Tommy like?
Tommy was Tommy, like I say, they really believe in that Dodger glue. So, yeah, it was nice playing in L.A., but like I say, my favorite place was Pittsburgh.
Did you have a favorite manager to play for?
Chuck Tanner, by far.
What made Chuck such a good manager?
He let you be an individual. He let you develop, as a team. He let you, take care of yourself. He didn't police you. He just figured you're a grown man and you know what to do and not to do. And I think that's what made our team so good over those few years I was there.
You mentioned that Dave Parker should be in the Hall of Fame. What about you? 4 batting titles. I can't think anyone else had that many batting titles who's not in.
There's nobody, but I never can figure out, how they vote for it anyway. Like I said, it seems like it varies from year to year. Sometimes have nothing to do with stats. It have nothing to do with a lot of stuff. It's just, like Biggio, he should be in, And then they punishing guys like Clemens and Bonds and stuff that they know what was going on. Now they, punish those guys, Social McGuire, stuff that they know what's going on. Stuff that, like Social McGuire, they say baseball. And now everybody's trying to act like they didn't know what was going on and stuff. So, to me, that's sickening.
Do you think you get penalized some because everybody thinks of third baseman, like you said, nowadays they're power hitters, but back then you just had Schmidt and Eddie Matthews who were power hitters?
Well, it's just too long. I don't worry about it. Can't do nothing about it. I just thought nothing against the newspaper man. I think that they should split it up on who votes for the Hall of Fame. Like to do a Heisman Trophy. People who win Heisman Trophy have the opportunity to vote. And stuff like that. I think if you look at stuff like that. I think because sometimes newspaper won't vote for you because they don't like you, you didn't give an interview or stuff like that. And I think there's too much power for one organization to have because like there's some of them don't know baseball and some of them don't watch baseball and some of them don't get a chance to watch people in different parts of the country. So, I think that's what they need to change about it.
Who do you think the best player to ever play was?
Oh, I like to, and I talked to the old timers and say Willie Mays was the best player that ever played. Then I like for the best player I ever seen, for a period of time was Barry Bonds. He was just unbelievable. I mean, he was great, with or without whatever it is. I don't know what he did or what he didn't do. I don't know, but I just know he's a great hitter. He's a great player. And I think, the kid from Detroit, Cabral, what he did over the last 6 years is just unbelievable, and I think guys like Trout got a chance, and you can't judge over 2 years, so I think you got a chance to be a good player. And I think, I live in Vegas part-time, and the guy from Washington, Harper, I think he got a chance for an outstanding player, but like I said, he got to get himself on it. Even told, you watch him get kicked out of spring training and, arguing with umpires, which, spring training games mean nothing. So he has to, really mellow down and, concentrate on playing on the field, not, let all that other distraction.
Do you think it's harder to be a hitter today or back when you were playing?
Oh, it's a lot harder now because, like I said, these pitchers just throw so hard. And, some of these pitchers got 4 and 5 pitches. I think when I played, the most a pitcher had is 3 pitches, and most of them only had 2. So, it is tough. It is tough. These guys are just big and strong, and they just throw the heck out of the ball.
Do you miss the pitchers pitching inside to the hitters, or do you think it's better nowadays?
Well, I think I miss all the stuff back there because, this stuff now, I was watching a couple of games today. You've seen the catchers running away from the tag. You've seen it's just like football. It's become a real soft game now. This game is soft. Like I say, if I was playing now, I think I could hit 350, 360 every year. I would complain about a pitcher throwing inside at the beginning, and once you complain, they're gonna throw outside the whole time because they don't throw in. Before Gibson, Carlton, Siebert, they would bust you in. Well, like we used to police ourselves too. So, but now, we got all the instant replays, got all this, and you got these, all these stats with these people just getting so ridiculous with these stats and stuff. It's just, people want to watch the game. They want to hear about, all this stuff. I guess, I think they're giving me too much information, that really the normal people don't want to know about. They just want to watch the game and enjoy the game.
I watched that Cubs-Pirates game last night that went 16 innings, and they kept taking breaks for instant replay. Now I'm like, just let the game play. I mean, okay, if it's a critical call, I could see a replay, but now they're using this replay kind of like as a timeout.
Right, and I think somebody said something about it. Just do it. If there's a cold play, just do it and make the decision. Don't have the manager walk out there and take 3 or 4 minutes. Just make the play. Just signal it down. Boom. This is it. That's it. You don't have to do it. Just if you're going, you might as well make a play that every play is correct. If you're going to do that, just if they're a close play, just make the decision and then give the umpires, have them pause for whatever 20 seconds. That's all. If you look at it, it takes you 10 or 15 seconds if they miss the play.
They made a call. You're right. They made a call the other day where they said that the White Sox outfield did not have possession of the ball, that once you catch the ball, you have to transfer it to your throwing hand for it to be a catch. They never do that on double play. So now every double play, if they drop the ball and they transfer it, the person's safe at second?
Well, I guess it's getting ridiculous. I worked for the commissioner's office about 10 years ago, and they were doing a thing, how to speed up the game. I don't know if you remember that.
Right.
They was doing, and I worked for the commissioner for 2 years, so we went around the league how to speed up the game. I mean, that's a waste of money and a waste of time because now the game probably, I don't know how long, it's probably run 10 to 15 minutes longer now. Because like I said, the manager takes a minute to walk out there so he can get the information from the clubhouse. Then they got to get the umpires together. So the game is really slowed down, and like I said, it's going to affect the pitcher and stuff like that. But it's just become a slow, boring game now.
Who gave you the nickname Mad Dog?
The bleacher bums in Chicago.
Did you enjoy having that nickname?
Oh yeah, that wasn't too far from what I was, because I Madlock and I barked at the umpire, so that didn't bother me.
Like you mentioned, you bark at an umpire now, and then they won't pitch inside. When you barked at the umpire back then, did it help you?
I did like to say, I think the umpires back then they're more tolerable then because they'll let you yell for a while. If you say a certain word, they kick you out. But like say they I have all respect in the world for the umpires. Even on some of these plays now, they're very seldom misses. So I don't even know I don't even know if all the money they spent on all this equipment is worth how many calls they missed.
No, you're exactly right. Did you ever think about
Yeah.
going into managing, becoming a Major League Baseball manager?
No, I'm finished doing what I'm here, doing lessons with kids, and I'm very happy.